Hey everybody, welcome to the Geek Vault. It's your boy Dre. I know it's called Suous Geek Vault, so get over it when I say it's Dre. I know I'm late, Colin. I'm fashionably late. I like to be that way. I'm also minority, so I'm on brown people time. That's what happens. When we on colored people time, that's what happens. And I don't like to say colored people because that's racist. But I'm brown, so I'm on brown people time. But I digress. Today, I know I sound all nasal and sexy, but this is not the very sexy. This is a sinus yucky, as me and Phil were talking in the backstage. But I'm going to introduce somebody to you guys. You guys have seen this guy. He is a rising star, in my opinion, on the YouTube scene. As I put in the description, he is a toy hunter, a collector, and just an all around great dude, Yukon Phil. Welcome to the Geek Vault.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me. Appreciate the intro. And I'm excited to be here, man. I've been looking forward to this one ever since you
As have
mentioned it.
I.
So
As have
let's
I.
do it.
Dude, it's always been. And I'm going to hit you with something not like everybody else does. Because
Oh,
everyone wants to ask
good,
you,
good. I'm
people
excited
want
for
to
that.
know what got you into collecting,
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
did this. I don't want to. I've seen all those other videos, and I
Right.
love Carlos for what you did on the. I watched the Overgrown Third Graders. I've watched your other stuff where you've been interviewed. I'm asking you some questions. Why are you into Transformers?
Oh man, Transformers. I mean that was my number one toy as a kid. I remember Christmas of '86. I'm gonna go back in time for you for a minute. Christmas '86. That was like my big Transformer Christmas. So I remember I got Metroplex, got Blitzwing, got all the Stunticons, got Optimus Prime, got
Mm.
all those. Transformers have just always been this like the next to Star Wars the most nostalgic thing for me. And I just love, I love the sound. I love that that whole thing. It's just it was so different than anything else that, it just called to me. And I mean, who doesn't love Optimus Prime? Like Optimus Prime next to Darth Vader
Duh.
is an icon,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So
Peter
it's just
Peter Cullen is an iconic voice actor.
he
When
he is
you
an
hear
absolute
him,
icon.
you know the
You know
voice.
who it
Like
is.
everybody knows Frank Welker.
Yep.
Frank Welker.
Yep.
We all know him. But when you hear Peter Cullen,
Yep.
like when he was the voice of Carr in Knight Rider,
Hmm.
when you hear him as the voice of Optimus Prime in the Bay movies, you're just kind of like, oh,
Right.
I'm home
It's just
again.
like, okay, there he is. We're ready now. But yeah, man, it's just one of those things that's always hit me ever since I was probably about 4, and
Wow.
just always been big. I actually got out of collecting Transformers for a long time. Then when they came out with the Siege line, and they started because they really sucked for a while, to be honest with you. I'm a G1 guy. Most people are. But when they started making Siege and Earthrise and Kingdom and stuff, those really hit me because they looked like the old ones that I had, and
Hmm.
they were the closest to it. So I'm like, and then they were affordable. They weren't masterpiece prices where they're $200-300 a figure. They're ones
Oh
I can
Lord.
actually afford. So I told my wife, this is happening. You're gonna have to accept it. And I think I've got like close to 200 Transformers now, more than I've ever had.
Wow. I
So
think
yeah,
I would like to
it's
say
part
I,
of
I
life
want to.
now.
I would like to say because I have three shelves. I'm nowhere near 200, but I'm creeping easily towards 50
Okay,
because I
that's a
mean
great
I'm a
start.
lifelong Transformers fan. Lifelong Transformers fan. I too like did not want to go the route of the masterpiece because at the time the masterpiece and the third party stuff, I'm not going to call them bootlegs. The third party stuff were like your only two options
Right,
because like you
right.
said, the plastic stuff that Hasbro was putting out was garbage.
It was
Was
very
hot
cheap.
trash.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like the Red Series. I'm not gonna argue with you about your Galvatron because I personally feel that the Legacy Galvatron is the best Galvatron we can get.
I
Granted,
mean,
for a non-transformable, I will agree that red Galvatron is amazing.
do you have it? Do you have
No, I
that
do
one?
not. I
Okay.
do not have that one.
Okay.
I was tempted to pick him up the other day when I was at Walmart, and I saw him because of your video. So that's
Oh
not.
well, hey, I'm glad. Hey, it's an
So,
influencer kind of thing. Look at
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Nice,
see, look,
nice.
cheap plug right there. I saw your video and I'm like, shit, man, maybe I should get this. And then I saw they had the Ultra Magnus, which I love the Ultra Magnus, and
Yeah.
I love the Bumblebee. I love the RC. I think the RC from that red line is amazing. And for anybody that's not into
Mhm.
Transformers and hearing a lot of Transformer talk fly out of our mouths, um, The red line is for fans that want to collect like action figure style Transformers.
Yep.
So like kind of like akin to the Super 7. Just I think they're
Exactly.
way better articulated and a cheaper price point.
They really are. They're well, and they come with. It's hard to say that it comes with more stuff, but that Galvatron came with more stuff than the Super Seven. They haven't done a Galvatron, but like say the Ghost Starscream, it actually came with more stuff. It came with several blast effects. It came with the reformatting screen. For $25, it was actually a really good deal. So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of people they can't get past a non-transforming transformer, and that's kind of the thing. But if you want something that looks cartoon accurate for a good price, it's really the best way to go.
it's true.
That's the reason I said it was probably the best. I think it's the most accurate looks wise.
Yeah, because I agree with you what you said about Super 7. Like when you
Yeah.
said the Super 7 Ultimates ones were you were going to pass on them. I had originally had one, the Optimus Prime, and I sold them off. When I was getting heavy back into Transformers, I was like,
Mhm.
I want the MDLX 301. I
Right.
was
That's a
like,
good one. That's a good
I
one.
think he
Yep.
looks amazing for an $80 price point. He looks the part. He is the part of what I want. Give me 1 second just to address the chat. Hey, LeBron Fett, it's good to have you in here. Joseph Grohl, longtime fan and supporter of the channel. Dude, I love you, bro. I'm sorry that your phone broke. Uh, God, I would have been felt weird too if I didn't have a phone. And obviously, EC Collecting, my boy Colin, my brother from another mother. Good to have you in here. So, fans, if you guys are coming through, just make sure you smash that thumbs up. And like I said, it's always fun. And I had to start this off with Transformer Talk because I feel like I don't ever hear enough of it when they get fans of Transformers on.
Absolutely. I mean, the funny thing about Transformers is like there's not a lot of main collectors that are seriously into it. I see that
It's
on a
true.
lot of hunt videos. They pass right by, and I'm like, hey guys, focus on the Transformers for a minute. I want to see what you got.
Oh yeah, they're like the guys will be like this. They're like, and I'm going
And
right
there's
to.
the Transformers.
It's like here. It's like Transformers, and then it's like, oh, Legacy. Oh, let's look at
Right.
this. Let's look at this.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second, but
Go
I'm a
back.
Transformers collector. Like,
Yep.
and I don't like the toy hunt. And this is something like I know you've watched my videos,
Hmm.
and I know I'm gonna be on your show, and I'm not gonna try to like spoil our interview.
No, plug yourself. Plug yourself.
So I know that I'm going to be on his show in January 22nd. So we'll be
Yep.
yakking with Yukon Phil. So you definitely got to check that out on his channel. And I know for me I don't like the toy hunt. Like I like the toy hunt in the sense like I like going to the stores with my kids, but I suffer the same thing you guys do. Like I'm in the store, there's either people in the aisle, it's the holiday times, people are restocking, the employees look absolutely pissed off at anybody
They are.
trying to get through and
Hmm.
film anything. And I was like, you know what? I originally said I would do it, and I probably will do some toy hunting when I go to Disney because,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
as everybody knows, I'll be in Disney World with my family. It's our first family trip that we're taking, and it's to celebrate our my daughter Lana's birthday, my wife and I's 5-year anniversary. It's like we're doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna toy hunt. I told my wife, I said we're gonna go to a Target and a Walmart, and I found out there's like one of each in the area. That's about all I'm gonna do. I said if you let
Nice.
me just do that,
Nice.
I'm okay. I said we can film the rest of Disney, and then she's like, okay, go ahead, whatever, I don't mind. So, but I don't like that whole like pissing people off or having to blur people's faces out. Like
Hmm.
I respect the guys that like do it, like my boy Colin, and I know Joe does it, and T3 they I respect that, and they're good at it. And guys like Greg Cook that have just gotten it down to like you said a
It's a
science.
science. Absolute
There are
science.
certain toy hunters that like I'm friends with Ron, and Ron is a great dude, Century the Mad
Hmm.
Collector, and
Hmm.
he's another one that's got it down to a science. And he and I actually went to college, the same college, came from the same area
Really?
in New York. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
It's hilarious when we actually interviewed and had him on the show on my old channel, and I got to sit down and interview him, and I was like, "Holy shit, Ron! Like you and I went to Iona College. Like we
That's
actually
awesome,
went
man.
there. Like, yeah. So
Very
it's
cool.
funny the little things you find out about people.
Right, right.
So
Honestly, man, toy maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm
no,
gonna
go
be
ahead.
honest. I'm
Say
gonna
it.
be honest. Toy hunting videos are my least favorite videos to make
They're
because of
not
all the
fun.
things you just said. For one, sometimes I know most toy hunters agree with me that sometimes I like to just go in and look without being obligated to film, you know, and I don't want to film the same stupid thing over and over and over and over, you know. But I mean, when it comes to trying to dodge people, when it comes to the store being absolutely wrecked, when it comes to them not having shit, you know, it gets to be monotonous, right?
It does.
Some of the videos I like to do are informative videos. You know, I like to do haul videos, but I also like to do informative videos that I've done and share my experiences that I've come up with in the 10 months I've been on YouTube. Those videos are some of my favorite to do just because I like to pay it forward and I like to give a heads up. I've noticed a lot more brand new YouTubers coming on that have 10, 20, 30 subs. So it's like if I can do anything to help those guys and give them a heads up, man, that's really what I want to do. So, yeah, toy hunt videos, I mean, they're good. You have to do them. You can't call yourself Yukon Phil Toy Hunter and not do toy hunt videos. You're kind of stuck when you give yourself that
Oh
name.
yeah.
So, but they are, to be honest with you, man, they're a bitch. They're difficult at times. There's times that you get so focused on what you're doing, you forget about the camera, and you're like this, and it's like, okay, I got to get back to it. And they're honestly they're the hardest to edit. You know, for me they are. But yeah, I can see why people don't like to do those and film those as much as some other videos for sure. So,
And I get there's something you said too in one of your videos that I really, and it was on one of your lives. You reiterated it, and I loved what you said, which was there's so much saturation out there
mhm,
that like of just so many toy hunters and
right,
so many people coming up, and it's like, why not, like,
right,
just take a step back and do something different. Like, that's why my channel, and I'm gonna say the same thing LeBron just said. He says you might need to start doing it. Do it. I go ahead. I
do it,
support you, bro.
do it,
I
man.
love your channel, LeBron. I think you do some great toy reviews. You have some great fig photography.
It's fatigue.
Do and I mean, like, if you want to do a review, go ahead. I'm saying, me personally, it's like in the sea of what people look for, there are guys like Cincy Nerd, not another retro channel.
Hmm.
Greg Cook. I'll even plug him because I live in the same state as him. Ken Pool Collects.
Right.
You know, these guys are all guys that have been doing it. Seth, OG
Yep.
Geek,
Yep.
Diamond Dave. You know, a lot of these guys, all they do is toy hunts, and that's how they got their success. And now they're like, oh shit. Now they're starting to segue into other stuff, but trying to use the toy hunts as their main, what got them to the dance. Where me, I'm like, no, I sprinkle in if I do those sorts of things,
Sure.
rarely. And what you see is the real me.
Right.
And I think it's something T3 said on when he was with you guys on the overgrown third grader podcast. He said, I can smell and see how people are.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
you really can see, like, Ron, after talking to him, I have his personal cell phone number. I can call Ron up. Like, guys like that I befriended outside of YouTube are real friends,
Right.
real people.
Right.
Am I saying, like, you know, guys like I've seen, like Seth What's Poppin'? I had him on the show. I'm a huge fan of his. Love his stuff. I think he's absolutely hysterical. But I've heard from other people that they're like, it's a show and dance with him.
Hmm.
How he is in real life versus what he does on YouTube, they're two different personalities. And
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
and I get that you have to make that separation, but
I
why?
mean, do you have to make that separation? You know, do you have to be someone who has to force it when you're on camera? Do you have to be someone who's not genuine and puts on a mask? It's funny that I say that because that's how I started out.
I know,
But
but think
is
about that
it,
though.
do you really need to do that? You know,
Some people do. Some
I
people do
guess
because
so. I guess
think
so.
about it.
I
You
won't
made
do that. I
oh
will not do that. You know.
now for the people watching us, you're getting two toy collector YouTubers that are never going to be that way.
No.
What you
Never.
see with me is what you get. If I
That's
didn't
it.
edit a video, fuck it, I didn't edit it. Oh well,
Exactly.
oops.
Exactly.
I
Too
threw it
bad.
together. Oh wait, I know that a lot of guys have said this, and I've made a comment about it on a live video, and I know I offended some of my subscribers, and I was like, I'm sorry, not sorry. My kid is in my living room. Our apartment, or I should say, our townhouse is small,
Mhm.
so 2 floors. I have a 2-year-old. You're gonna hear a 2-year-old. I'm not gonna go and start selectively editing my video. It's my
Right.
kid. It's my flesh and blood.
It's your
They
kid.
can
Yep.
they can make all the damn noise they want as long as that I can use the headphones and a microphone to get the voice of what I want. Then we're good.
Yeah.
But I hate when people have to be so not themselves that they've created like Rocco the Great. I know so many people that love Rocco, and I've never met him. I've spoken to him a few times, but like I think his ego got very blown up very quickly. And
Mhm.
now that he's starting to sell his own toys, it's like he believes his own hype, and it's just like I can't watch his stuff anymore.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
and it's so obvious. It's so obvious when you see that. I mean, forget like seeing him at a convention or something like that. When you just can, when it that reads over the camera and you can read that easily, it's like okay, And I've actually, I won't name any names, but there is some very popular YouTubers that I've been told I need to get a hold of. They're really great in this stuff. I see something in them I don't like, and I've unsubscribed to them. Um, I won't name names because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but there are some out there, and
Oh,
it's
I know.
like I'm not I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing. I'm seeing something different. I'm seeing something that's not real. I'm seeing something I don't want to watch, and I'm not going to watch it. And that's my philosophy with my own channel too. I'm not doing giveaways. I'm not going to bribe you to watch my channel. If you want to do a giveaway, that's
Here's
great for you.
toys. Here's toys. Come and
Right.
get these toys.
Right. I'm
Subscribe to
not
my
doing
channel.
that because if you want to watch me, you're going to watch me for me. You're not going to watch me to win something. You're not going to watch me to get free shit. I'm not going to do that because I just honestly don't believe in it. And I know that's a big thing. Honestly, going back to Ron, going back to Century TMC, he and I had that conversation too. He's like, because he doesn't do that either. He's
Hmm.
like, if you need to bribe people to watch your show, you got bigger problems than not enough subs and not enough views. Your problem is you're too hell bent on getting big time and not letting it grow organically, not being a man of the people, and just being you. I can tell Ron is Ron when I see him. If I met him, if I ever went to New York and I met Ron, I know I would get exactly what I see over the camera, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
exactly what I try to do too, man.
Now here's an interesting question. I'm gonna post this right here, and we're gonna use it because Colin just brought this up. So what about giving back to your giving back toys to your supporters though? So I will say for that, the real supporters are guys that come like Rolando
Mhm.
and General Kenobi, you know, uh let's see, Hey Archer, guys that I see that are always constantly in your live streams.
Yes,
Those are just to
yes,
name a few of those guys that I know have recently subscribed to my channel. So thank you
yes.
guys.
Yep.
But those guys, like if they were on something and we did a wheel and I had something that I had extra of, yes, I would go out of my way. But I don't feel like giving back all the time. I feel like you give to those people infrequently because
Mhm.
they're not expecting it to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you an example of what I did for General Kenobi's bunker. You guys might have saw it. I did not ask him to do this. He did this on his own. But I was selling my vintage collection figures, and I just kind of wanted to get rid of them. But I know how much General Kenobi's bunker is in the vintage collection. So I messaged him. I was like, man, I'm selling these. Is there any of these that you need? Is there any of these that you want? He's like, yeah, I need this one, this one. Cool, dude. Free of charge. You and I are friends. This is how much your friendship means to me. Figures are yours. I'm not charging you for them. I'm not charging you shipping. That's giving back to me. That's that. I think I understand what Colin's saying, but I think there's a very gray line there where it's like, you know, okay, so Yukon Phil or Dre, they're giving something away, but is it really because they want to, or is it because they have to? That's the problem, man. Is it? Are you obligated to give something away? Am I obligated because I had 500 subscribers to give something away? Well, that right there will make me not want to do it.
Exactly. Hey
So
T3.
T3, what's up, man?
And guess what? Speaking of a guy that I was about to just mention his name as well as General Kenobi.
Mhm.
I know you've mentioned it. Like where I would say I think I'm part of the older school crowd, but since
Sure.
I've rebranded, I think I'm kicking it more with the newer crowd, with the new kids
Mhm.
on the block, and I like that. And I'm trying to give back to them through like starting at the bottom and working my way back up, organically. And hey Joe, it's good to have JMC in
What's
here
up,
as
Joe,
well.
man?
And I would say two pillars of the new up and coming YouTubers and toy collectors are good. I would say is General Kenobi,
Mhm.
Bunker, and T3. And
Absolutely.
I know Carlos won't want to hear that,
He
but I'm gonna.
won't. He's going to be humble about it.
He can be humble all he wants. I'm his boy. I'm allowed to say that, and say that I feel like Carlos has influenced me in a lot of positive ways, and I'm starting a lot of projects because he and I have talked and worked through things, and he's given me ideas that I'm just like, oh shit, I got to do this,
Right.
and make this work, and he's there even if he can't do it. He's like, I'll support you,
Sure.
and that's and I know General Kenobi's Bunker's the same way,
Oh, wow.
and I see
100%.
you starting to follow in that vein, and I think that that's something that is very necessary for us to do.
Very
You got to
much so.
make sure to take care of everybody coming up.
Very
You
much
know,
so. Like you said, this generation that's coming up, yourself included, really is very welcoming with open arms. It took me a little while to get in the group, but once I did, I mean, you know, you can really feel the support that everybody gives each other, the love everybody gives each other. And going back to the giveaway thing, one thing that happens to me quite often with T3, with General's Gonna Be Bunker, with Hey Archer, with Legacy and Nerd, they will do stuff and promote stuff for me just out of the blue on YouTube, on Instagram, and these things. I think it's that kind of stuff as opposed to I'm going to give you a figure that means a whole lot more and really expands the draw of all these new YouTubers and what they're about. They're not about themselves like some of those guys we talked about earlier. They're about the group. And this group is solid, man. I'm really happy to be a part of this group. I see the same guys in the chat every live stream I go to. I see
oh,
yourself, I see T3, I see Kenobi, I see all these guys, and it's like, you know, we have a group here, and that means a lot, man. Means a
and
lot.
I think that that's something that's missed out on by, and I'm gonna say this very, very honest. Um, and it feels like when I first started coming on back in 2014, 2015. That was like when a lot of the toy hunters there was not that many out. There
Right.
was like, you had a couple of guys that were reviewers, a lot of reviewers, but not toy hunters. So I felt like I was in my own little niche of my own little world, thinking I was hot shit, and I wasn't. But that's what I thought at the time, because I was a lot younger. I'm 44. I'm 44 now, so you know, two kids and a wife. You change your perspective.
It'll do it. Yes,
You know,
definitely.
and now I do this completely for what I want for the right reasons.
Mhm.
I do it for the reasons that I want to enjoy it, and I think that that's why I love watching T3 when he hunts, and I love watching your stuff because you guys just are so organic and so real, and it's so fun to just see, because it's like I think the same way as you. I'm like, holy shit, Phil's thinking, he's looking at the toy section the way I look at it. Like, oh my god, like if
That's
I was standing
scary,
next to,
man.
it
That's
is.
scary.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy crap, he's right there. And I was like,
Uh,
if I was standing next to him, I'd be like, dude, do you see that? like,
it's
yeah.
funny you say that because I had like people message me about that lizard today. You were one of them. You were
Yes,
one.
I did.
JMC was one. Jeff McElway was one. All these people. I think T3 even asked me about that lizard. I'm like, guys, there was one. I think he's gone, but I'll keep an eye out. And that's the other great thing about this. People are willing to help each other. It's not about, hey, look what I found. You can't have it. It's about, hey, if you see this, hit me up. I trust all these guys to pay me. But yeah, Spider Man, I know. I'm still looking
That's,
T3. Um,
I know T3
but
wants this. He saw this in our group chat.
yeah, yep.
This is a gift, early Christmas gift from the wife.
Very nice. But yeah,
Yes.
it's just that kind of bond and rapport that you have with people, even though you've never met these people in real life, which I really hope to at ICCC. Um, you got a connection, and you can feel it,
And that's what you want. Because
man.
I think that that's what happens. as grown men, and I'm going to state this before I ask my next question. I think as grown men, it's difficult for us to make friends
Oh
because
yeah, man. Oh, it's
especially
so hard. It's so hard.
COVID, COVID set up such barriers for people to like be like, oh wait, excuse me, like I don't want to talk to you.
Right. I can't shake your
Stay,
hand. You
you know,
know.
I can't high five you, can't dap you up, just
Right. Right.
stay
Right.
over
Right.
there,
Right.
you know. But have you felt the negativity or seen the toxicity that this um hobby has created amongst YouTubers?
No.
You are very
Not
fortunate.
really. I have, I mean, on my personal channel and my personal relationships that I've gotten through my YouTube channel and through my hobbies, my hobby with this, I've gone into multiple stores, asked them to film in their store. Hey, that's awesome. Do you have any? Do you have a poster? Do you have a card? We will support you in any way we can. These are local toy shops. I have not. I mean, you get your jackass that's on there every once in a while who's just nothing but a troll and, well, that was stupid or whatever they want to say. But man, honestly, I have felt nothing but positivity in the last 10 months. It's my personal life I get more negativity from, honestly. But this is honestly more of a positive thing. That's why I love it so much and I try to do it so much is that being on these lives and talking with these people, it's all been positive. Interacting with people that are not other toy hunters, it's all been positive. I'm actually really surprised myself about that. But to be honest with you, man, I haven't felt much negativity at all, which
I'm
is
glad.
amazing.
I'm honestly, I'm glad you haven't, and that's part of why I did that rebranding video that you humbled me on. And I'm gonna state this for the record because he went out yesterday, and this is not me plugging that video. The fact that he went out yesterday on his live and said that that video was one of his best videos, like my wife's eyes got big. Like I was like, that video was long. I was emotional. I didn't edit it. It was just me being me. And that video is something where I've experienced a lot of that toxicity
Mhm.
on both sides of it. And, as a person who suffers from mental health issues, it was definitely, it hit hard on a lot of it. But the fact that I've got guys like Colin, Joe, Carlos, and I've met yourself, even LeBron, he and I have become friends outside of YouTube.
Mhm.
So I'm very happy for you that you have not encountered that. So I have a group on IG, and these guys know they're a part of it. I'm going to invite you to that group
Appreciate it,
because
man.
it's our
Absolutely.
text group. It's called Collector Safe Space. It's meant for just no bullshit, like hanging out, talking toys. If you're going through something, talk about it.
I
We all
appreciate
have
that, man.
we all have each other's cell phone numbers. We coordinate with each other. It's awesome. It's a great place, and I would like to, not just because we're on live. I've been wanting to invite you to it, and I just was gonna do it after the show, but I figured letting you know. So
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, man. And going back to your video, what you just said right there is why I said that. It was you being you. I could tell what it meant to you. I could tell the struggles you had been through, and I could tell that everything about that video was genuine. And I actually love videos like that. I love videos where people kind of just be like, okay, here is all my cards. I'm putting them down. I'm not gonna, if you had edited it, it would have not looked right. You being raw and having it unedited is what really did it, man. It just, I mean, it hit me because I know I've felt those same feelings, not with YouTube, but other things in my life. And it's like, wow, you get that feeling like I'm not alone.
and I think
That's
that's
the
one of
thing.
the reasons that Carlos, like, and I say this about Carlos when he talks about mental health and really putting it out there. When I was working as a teacher full time and doing YouTube on the side, I was very skeptical about talking about that because
Hmm.
of my job. Because you mentioned that you have a mental health issue, it's
Oh yeah.
completely different. People start looking at you real funny.
Hmm.
They don't like how you are, you know. So I to a lot of levels, I respect why I had to do that video, and there's gonna be more videos like that to come. and I love doing those. I love just having fun talking with you guys and just in. I love Carlos is just blowing up the chat with stuff. So I'm
He
gonna hit you with
he
this.
he's just putting his spot on Yakin with Yukon up in jeopardy. That's what
I
he's
know. I'm
doing. You
saying,
better watch it, man.
you better watch out, dude. Colin said we're having a meeting tonight. All
Oh
right,
boy.
meeting after the show.
Oh boy. I know you're just playing, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all good.
no, but it's just funny because I love the fact that this group knows when I went through a lot of the problems, those three guys and Darth, obviously Luis came through, and Legacy and Nerd and Kenobi's Bunker, they're all in that group, and they really stepped up and came through and helped me work through a lot of what I was going through. And if it wasn't for like guys like Colin and Joe and Carlos, who I talk to every day, like
Mhm.
every day I talk to these guys. Like they're closer to me than my actual blood brothers and sisters I have.
That's
So
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
I talk to my brother, my literal brother every day. I talk to Carlos every day. I talk to Colin every other day, if not every day. And Joe I talk to every day. So it's definitely feels good, and I'd like you to be a part of that because I know that when I saw some of your other stuff that you had posted on Facebook and on Instagram, where you felt like you were doing this and you were like, "Why am I doing this?" And that really resonated with me,
Mhm.
and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave this guy out there because I've been. I don't know if you watch The Rings of Power on Amazon
I
Prime.
haven't. No,
Oh my
no, I
god,
haven't.
if you watch that, there's the description I was gonna have was kind of being like how Galadriel was like on that, like literally floating in the ocean, not knowing what's gonna happen, and then a raft comes by, and like there's people that are like surviving from a boat crash, like this wreck, and like she just gets on it, and she's like, oh shit, there's now another problem coming on the horizon, but at least
Right.
there's people here with me,
People there to help you. Yep.
you know.
Yep.
So that's why I love it, and
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love and support. Appreciate the invite. I'll definitely accept. There's no question about that.
that's
So
awesome.
appreciate it, man.
And
Appreciate it.
LeBron said too, if anybody needs to talk, that's part of why he wants to be a part of that, like to help through and like just message him. So on
Well,
to some more happier
mhm,
things because
sure.
I feel like we need to let's talk a little bit happier stuff.
Lighten the
Um,
mood, huh?
yeah, I gotta lighten it up a little bit here.
Lighten it up.
So you talk wrestling, and I heard you talk some wrestling, and Joe is my brother from another mother as well, and he's a big wrestling nerd, just like me, if not bigger than me in a lot of ways, because we had to butt heads a couple times during our during our watch
That's
along.
that's what I heard. Yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
during war games, me and Joe had to butt some heads, and if it wasn't for Scott being in there, we would have probably
Uh,
came down to some words. But as brothers,
right.
we would have fought and just said, "Hey, I love you." At the end of the day, let's
There
keep
you go.
going.
There you go.
So where camp do you sit in? Do you sit in the AEW or WWE camp?
So, funny thing is, when AEW came about, I was definitely AEW. Guys, I can't stand Vince McMahon. I honestly can't. He was good back in the day. Okay, I don't want to discredit anything Vince did. Vince did some awesome things. Attitude Era, best era of wrestling,
Oh hell
never
yeah,
bar
hands
none.
down.
It'll never be. You're never gonna get another Rock. You're never gonna get another Austin. You're never gonna get another Taker. Okay, but once Vince, once you got in the early 2010s, later, all through the decade, you could see that Vince needed to just get the hell out of the way.
Oh well, he
So
had to.
it's
He had
like,
to.
you know, he ran it into the ground. He didn't want to listen to anybody. He wanted to do his own damn thing. He brought up these guys who just had no charisma, or, they tried to rebrand him as this next Rock or this next Austin, or, Bray Wyatt's the next Taker, all this stuff. And it's like when AEW came, you could see that everybody wanted to jump ship. Moxley, all these guys, they jump ship.
Jericho,
Jericho.
Cody,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that Jericho would have left? I mean, come on.
Yeah, he was another one.
Jericho was a staple.
Yeah, he was.
So when AEW started, I loved it. I loved what Jericho did. I loved the La Champion thing. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great. But when Cody left, you're like, oh, there's something up. There's a change into the guard here. Once Vince left and Hunter came in, I don't
And
even
now you're
barely
seeing the mass exodus.
you see the mass exodus again now. You can, and it's so obvious it was one person. It
Oh
was
yeah,
one person going.
it literally was Vince was at the helm,
Yep,
and then his little hush money sex scandal
yep.
with Johnny Ace. You get rid of them. Suddenly now Trips is in power,
There you
and they're
go.
like Trips is like, hey, I'm sorry, come back home.
It went
Come
from
back
being a
home.
complete joke, man, to being pretty damn good. Now there are some
Oh hell yeah,
things that I don't like about it. The only thing I like about AEW right now is actually MJF. I think MJF is
yeah, hands
fantastic.
down.
He's great, man. I actually think he's that big of a dick in real life. I
Oh,
really
he
do.
is.
But I love what a WWE the War Games pay per view was fantastic.
Oh hell yeah.
That they're giving Sami Zayn a chance now to really shine
And you need to.
is
I think
great.
he deserves it. I
He
think,
does.
he's been he was NXT champion. He was, kind of he was a joke United States champion, a joke Intercontinental
Yep.
champion.
Yep.
I think that now his rise and letting him just be himself. Same with Kevin Owens. I think like Kevin
Mhm.
Owens, like people were saying like Jericho elevated, like Jericho talks about it all the time. Like he elevated. No, Owens worked his ass off to get to where he was at.
He did.
Like
He did.
Owens being NXT champion, then beating Cena for the United States title
That
in
was
an
big.
open challenge,
Yep. That
having
was big.
both belts, and then walking between both shows.
Yep.
I was like, that's like the first steps. Now they want to do that with Braun Breaker. I'm like, no,
I wouldn't do that.
no,
No, no,
no.
I wouldn't do
Leave
that.
him. That boy is so green. He radiates the Grinch. Just stay there.
Stay in
You know,
NXT. Yep.
stay
Yep.
in NXT and grow. And get to where you can wrestle a little bit cleaner, a little bit better, and then come up to the main roster.
Right.
And with AEW, because I Joe knows I'm firmly invested into AEW. They've been in Charlotte. I've been to every live show they've done in Charlotte. I've been for Fight for the Fallen, Battle for the Belts, and the two Dynamites that were here. Every time they've come through, I've gone and I've come home hoarse. Love the shows, and I'm a big Young Bucks fan, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. After the whole Punk media scrum, I think I'm in a place now firmly of FTR. I think, like I told Joe, I think probably one of the best tag teams in like right now ever would be
Absolutely.
FTR. I think in the modern era, like if I were to go looking old school, it'd be a lot of other tag teams I'd put up there. But FTR in the modern era are probably one of the best tag teams, best workers you're going to see in the business. So my roundabout question was, since I knew you were in the camp of loving MJF, and I saw that. My question is, why don't you collect elites or ultimates or
So
supremes or any other crap names they keep throwing at us for all the wrestling figures that keep coming out?
I gotta say hi to General Kenobi's bunker
Yeah,
before I answer this question.
hi,
What's up, man?
hey
What's
brother.
up, my brother? So I actually did for a little bit. Back in probably April, I got into WWE Elites and stuff like that, but it got to be too much. I got into Marvel Legends. I'm not a Marvel guy. I've said this many times. That's a cool figure. I do
It's the
like
best.
that figure.
I own three Roman Reigns. I've sold the other ones off. This is the best one to own,
I
hands
would,
down.
yeah. I've looked at that one pretty in depth. That is very cool figure. But to be honest, man, something had to go. Transformers are not going to go. Star Wars are not going to go. Motu's not going to go. So I had to decide on something to go. And honestly, I got really overwhelmed with WWE Elites. I'm like, holy shit, there is so freaking many of these.
They pump
And
them
the
out.
thing is, I wanted to just get Attitude Era guys, but then I started seeing Roman, and I'm like, shit, I got to get Roman. Then I started seeing Seth. I'm like, I got to get Seth. It just became too much, man, to be honest with you. I would love to. If I had more space and more friggin' money, I would. But it's just to the point where something had to get cut out, and that was that. That's the
I'm with
honest
you.
truth, man.
I'm
So,
with you. I
but I
I
think
was.
they got a great product. I think the elites are fantastic.
They are.
The fiend one with the jacket, that
Oh,
thing
the
is
ultimate. Yeah, the
yeah,
ultimate
the
fiend.
ultimate's great. Yeah.
The first one, not the second one. The version two
The
one
first version,
sucks
yeah, yeah, the
because you
first
actually
version's
get the
really cool.
Fiend's title belt, which I think is actually
Yeah,
now going
yeah.
for as much as Becky Lynch's Amazon exclusive goes for, which is over $300.
Wow. Damn,
Yeah,
wish I bought a couple of
just
those, found those on clearance a
just
few.
just for
Ugh,
that stupid
just
title
for that
belt.
belt. Mm. Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I actually I wanted to get a reign and have everything set up and everything, but it just not enough space, man. That's the honest truth. Just not enough space, not enough money. So,
Dude, I think that's the common toy hunter um
yeah,
argument that we have, like we have with people, like, oh well, why can't I have this? Well, honestly, I don't have enough room,
right,
money, and
right.
or time. Because I'll be real with you. I think that as much as I love McFarlane, and I do McFarlane, I left McFarlane before my daughter was born 2.5 years ago. I had over 300 figures, all the
Ooh,
vehicles,
wow.
sold them to a friend in Canada, sent that whole box up there.
Hmm.
Then motherfucking Todd, Godfather Todd, start showing stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you pulled me back in, and now I'm back 100 something deep, and I have almost every mega figure except for Bane right now and
Oh, you got to
Sabak.
get Bane, man. Bane's
I
a good
need,
one.
I,
You
I
got to get
need
Bane.
Bane. I need
He's
Bane,
actually
and
getting a little pricey too.
yeah, I have to go to him from Todd's site. Um, I'm missing Sabak, which I've been
Okay.
trying to find on clearance. 'Cause I know he's gonna eventually be a Walmart or Target clearance I can grab him
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Um, and I just got these today or yesterday, I should say. I got these, which are gonna be in a toy hunt video I got to post later this week. But yeah, I got Kid
Oh,
Flash.
nice. Okay.
I got this Jay Garrick because he looks freaking amazing.
Nice. Nice.
And then I got the Page Puncher Flash, which people talk
Okay.
shit about, but that whole wave with Gorilla Grodd, Heat Wave, Captain
Mhm.
Cold, and the Atom, I'm
I
like,
haven't
that's
actually even seen that wave out there. I've seen it. It's on Amazon and all the others, but I haven't actually seen it
Target.
out there yet.
The
Target.
Target
Yeah.
that's by my daughter's school.
Yeah.
I just saw this one. I got this
Nice.
off Amazon, and literally, this was the only one on the peg. So the whole wave was there. So somebody bought the entire wave, and I was like, "Son of a bitch! I only need the other ones. I didn't need." I was
Right.
like, "Why you gotta leave him?"
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah, this one I think is a dope Flash figure. You know, I think people don't like the Page Puncher, and I did make a comment, and I don't know if you caught this. DC Direct
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I
on the
noticed that.
box,
I noticed that.
so that's saying, are we gonna see Todd do the one thing people have been asking, which is him to envelop the whole brand of the action figures, because the DC Direct action figures look nice, but they suck
Yeah.
for price and articulation. You get me those deceased figures rebranded as a McFarlane toy, I guarantee you they'll sell better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those things are so overpriced. What are those? They're like
30
40, 50.
bucks.
Are they
The-
30?
If
Okay.
you go okay, if you go to GameStop, which is marks them up $5, they're 34.99. If you find them, which I've never seen them anywhere else, but if you see them at Best Buy, I should say, I've seen them at Best Buy a few times. They're like $30. They're twenty nine
Okay.
ninety nine.
Yeah.
Local comic shops sell them for about 30 35 bucks. So
GameStop had a bunch on sale with that 50% off, and so here's the other thing. You
Red
can
Hood,
probably
I would have
relate to
grabbed the
this.
Red Hood. That's the one I
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
grabbed.
yeah, yeah. Here you can probably relate to this. So I got to be kind of careful. I've mentioned this in my videos. What I buy because my kids share a space with me up here. So if it's like too scary, I can't buy it. No, so
Oh
all
no,
the deceased figures are out, man. They're all out. So it's like that's kind of the other thing too. If
I
it's
agree
not
with you.
kid approved, and then I couldn't get the Titan Joker because my kids are
Um,
having nightmares about it. So
so
it's like
I'm gonna
okay,
make you laugh. I'm gonna make you laugh. So my nephews are 6 and 5 years old, and they love dinosaurs, but they're terrified of action figure dinosaurs and Jurassic Park.
really?
Yeah, my daughter, who's 2.5 years old, I gave her my Jurassic Park T Rex, the one that makes all the Indominus Rex that makes the sound effects, and the T Rex. She plays with them and she'll go like this, roar! She'll kick him.
Nice.
She'll field goal punt that son of a bitch around the living room, and I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
are you scared of this stuff? And she's like, roar, Papa, roar.
It's
And
the
I'm like,
damnedest thing what kids are afraid of, man. It's just crazy.
exactly. So, for me, I do I do collect some anime stuff. So like I won't get anything too voluptuous. 'Cause I do have two girls in the house, and I was raised by a single mom. I know the limit of how much I can keep something in this house before I start saying it's too much. But to
Right.
have my 13-year-old, she collects My Hero Academia. So I even like, my mother-in-law will not buy her something if she thinks it's too violent. And she likes all the villain characters. So go figure, like those are the most violent of violent characters and
Yeah.
they look the most menacing. And she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy that for her. And I'm
Right.
like, well, son of a bitch, I gotta go buy it then. But I don't mind because, like I collect a lot of the stuff. So my daughter has it in her room. The little one, I'm more afraid she'll take my stuff to play with it, which she's done. She's grabbed
That
some
that is a huge concern. Yes.
she
Yes.
is she has grabbed like my boy Fig Pick Steven gave me the bat, uh, the what was it, the Bat Skull Cycle with
Hmm.
Death Metal Batman.
Hmm.
And one day went to the bathroom, I come back in, and I see my 2-year-old on the floor rolling it around, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Don't do it! Don't mess with that. That's out of print. I can't get another one of those."
Right, right. Oh
Like,
man.
that was a gift.
Been there, done that, and every single one of those. My son was up here the other day doing that, grabbing it stuff. He actually, so I've taught him well. He's 5. He actually wanted to unbox stuff with me. We unboxed a C3PO.
Oh,
We
nice.
unboxed. I should have put it on film. Uh, yeah, we
Yeah.
unboxed all these figures. He's like, "Can we do more, Daddy?" I'm like, "Well, I got to save some of these for the YouTube channel, but maybe next time." But it's cool how he wanted to unbox figures with his dad. So
I
I
think that's
mean,
awesome.
that's awesome. You're right there.
That really tugs at my heartstrings because I another thing I did this video series which I've yet to release, and I've been wanting to do it, where it was talking about me as a collector and like the stages of like like kind of what I had to learn like throughout, because I've been collecting since I was whew, I want to say I was a little kid, but I would say as an adult collector I've been collecting since I was probably in my late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
So through college, and I would say the learning is with having kids that are into it with you, and like my little ones will play with their toys, and like she'll see my figures. Like my little one, she won't mess with the expensive like SH figure art stuff. Like she
Right.
knows that stuff she won't mess with. But if she sees like I'm gonna grab this because he's right here, my Hatut Zaraze because he's just laying around, she'll be like, oh no 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 no, and then
Fine.
this one, yeah, I don't at this
Yep.
point like I'm like I don't care. You're an army builder,
Yeah, yeah.
mess it around. I don't really give a shit. But I do care about like we'll use him because he's right here. This one,
Oh, yeah.
I would
The
care a lot
high-end
if
stuff. You
yeah.
you gotta
So
care about that.
and
Yep.
my other daughter is now starting to get into some high end stuff because I got her for her birthday Bakugo from My Hero Academia Nendroid. So she likes some of the higher end stuff. So
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
teaching her like, hey,
You
we can't afford it all the time,
right.
but when we can, here you go.
Yeah,
And
that's a
I
good
used to be
start.
in this, and I used to be in the statues. Like Art G will tell you, he's a great YouTuber, very good friend of mine, longtime friend of mine. He was like, I remember when you used to buy your statues and you were living in your roommate's house and you'd have all your statues all in box, all laying around. I was like, yeah, dude, I used to do that shit. Now I can't.
Right.
Hot
Not
toys,
anymore. Not
hot
anymore.
toys.
No, no, no.
Mm-mm.
No, no. I used to have a couple of hot toys in right hold on. Right there where Scorponok is, they stayed up
Looks
there.
so dope.
Yeah, because there was no way. I was afraid to touch those things, man. I had a Commander Cody. I sold him and I was putting away. I nearly broke his little antenna that was on his shoulder. Those things, the problem with those things, they're great. They look phenomenal,
Hmm.
but they're so fragile. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to. I never put them in different poses. They were in one static pose, and I was like, this is not much fun. Honestly, I'm
Yeah,
more
it's like
worried about it than
wow.
having fun with it.
It's like, yeah, this is an art piece. And I get like
It
guys
is.
like Josh Pence that they have like an office, or Cincy Nerd that has like an office dedicated to where, you know, it's locked. Even Seth has a room coded and locked that nobody's gonna
Right.
go in.
Right.
And I respect that. Like to me, that's cool. But when I'm like, man, if I can't pick you up and play with you,
Yeah. It's like, what's the
you
point?
know, that's why we bought toys.
Yeah.
Like I mean, granted, if my wife was here right now, she'd be like, yeah, Andre, what's at your feet? Like tons of boxes of things I have to unbox. But have you had that problem recently? Like, I'm gonna ask you that. I guess that's another question I could ask you. Have you had the problem of like where you have too much stuff to unbox, but then like you're still shopping and grabbing stuff, and then you're like, shit, it's like it piles up too quick.
Yeah, I've got like 8 figures right here. Let me show you one. Let's go back to the Transformers real quick. I think you'll appreciate this one.
Oh, that looks
No,
so
I wish this
fire.
was the newest version. I wish this was the cartoon accurate version, but he's like
That
300
looks
bucks.
amazing, though.
But I'll unbox this guy pretty soon. I can actually do it now if you want. But yeah,
Oh,
I have that problem.
can I show
I
you
have
something?
that problem where it's like, I don't know. I'm weird about unboxing my stuff too much at once. I kind of like having a little pile here where it's like I feel like I've got something new lately. But yeah, that is kind of an ongoing issue where it's like, okay, I need to really unbox something.
That's
So
true.
yeah, I have that problem all the time. But there he is, man.
Oh my god, that looks amazing.
He's good, but he's got some issues when it comes to lifting up his arm. When you lift up his arm, his little yeah, you can kind of see it there. I don't know
Oh,
if
the
you can.
Spalder, yeah, the Spalder, like the
Yeah,
little.
it's
It
okay. I mean, again, these are sort of like hot toys for Transformers. You want to be careful with them. You want to not move. There's no chance I'm going to try to transform him. But yeah, man, I think he's pretty good. Got it for 120, so pretty good deal.
that's actually really
Um,
good for a
yeah,
masterpiece.
yeah, brand new. But yeah, probably the only one I'll get. I like him, but again, I'm afraid to play with him. I'm afraid to move him around, and I'm happy I have him, but I'm sort of not happy I have him because it's like, okay, now he's just gonna stand there. So,
But you know what? For your collection, it makes you happy. So
well, yeah,
I'm gonna show
exactly,
you something. I have to share because I feel like
absolutely.
sharing is caring right now.
Sharing is caring, man.
See, you have a transformer, and because you mentioned this when you got your Christmas back in '86,
Ah,
uh, I got this.
nice. I've been thinking about that one. I have been
So
thinking about that one. Did you
funny
get it at a good
story.
price?
Yes, I did. So
Good.
funny story about this. So I go to Target, and my wife sent me. Obviously, you know when the wife sends you on the run,
Well, the
and
toy place is the first stop you
of
go,
course, but
right?
this was not in the toy section.
Oh,
So I finished the Target run. I went through the toy. I went and did everything else I had to do. And I'm heading to the register, and I'm cutting through the aisle where the towels are. And I'm looking, and on the bottom of this cart, I just see Metroplex, and
nice.
I'm like, holy shit! I've been looking for this everywhere. Like, this is one of the 4 Titan Transformers I want. Like, it's right there, and it was like, I was like, I got to get it off this cart. So the lady was about to grab the thing. I was like, Miss, can she's like, oh, these are clearance putbacks. I'm like, clearance putbacks? Can I have that thing on the bottom, the Transformer? She's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. It's like, Merry Christmas. So I put that in my cart, and I was like, I'm not even gonna question the gods. I'm just gonna take it to customer service and ask. So I go right to customer service and I ask, how much is this? Can you scan it? Now, originally, this was a 199.99 Titan class. It was reduced to the sticker price was like 149.99, $70. But
Oof.
then I got it on the deal
Oh,
for
you
the
got the
extra.
10 bucks off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then no,
nice.
this is before. This is
Oh,
before all
before.
that.
Okay.
This is during the sale. So I got it for like 25% off the toy discount. And then I had like $25 in savings. The thing ran me $50.
Oh man,
I w-
nice,
so I went, like, I got home, and I was like, I cracked it open, and I was like, I gotta see if everything's in here. Everything was in the box. I was like,
nice.
oh, unboxing video from Metroplex will happen.
Awesome score,
It
man. That's
it will happen.
fantastic.
And that's
That
like, it feels so good to share it with another Transformers fan because I
yeah.
was like, holy shit, this would be like fighting like Teletran One
Well, it is.
or
It is.
Scorponok, because those are like the rare gems of the Legacy collection to try to get your hands on
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, they're tough. They're tough. But for you to get a Titan, I mean, it would be any Titan. Even if it was the Arc, it'd be any Titan. For you to get a Titan for $50, that is a score all day. I was going to ask you as you were talking, I thought of something. I don't know if you've seen this. It's been going, and I don't even know if it's real. But Fans Toys, which is masterpiece maker of Transformers, is supposed to come out with a 4 foot tall Metroplex.
I
Have
heard
you
about
seen
that.
this thing?
Yes.
It's supposed to run over $1,000, but I'm thinking maybe.
Um,
It's
if
masterpiece scale, but I think even with it being masterpiece scale, it would still scale better for, like the Siege line or the Earthrise line. I think it would be
it would,
actually even better.
it
So,
would. All right, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you this because my wife's not here. Because if she was here, she would say no.
right.
Um, I would say maybe because if everything works out that we get our house next year, fingers crossed, that would be a piece I'd love to have in the collection. Um, I would love to have Metroplex was one of my favorite. Fortress Maximus was another one too.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I didn't have Fortress Maximus. My best friend did when we were growing up. So I had Metroplex. He had Fortress Maximus. I had Scorponok. He had Superion. We had all like I had I had Devastator. He had like all the like. And now I'm looking at them and I'm like kicking myself. I'm like, fuck! I came into this game way too late because all this shit is ridiculously expensive. Like,
Hmm.
I know they're trying to release Volcanicus now. I know Hasbro wants to release them as like a $700 or like a $400 or $500 build a transformer, and I'm like, God, if you weren't so expensive. I love the Dinobots; they're my favorite of all the Transformers. I cannot swing that.
You can't
You know,
justify it. It's just too much.
I couldn't justify that. That's like me telling my wife, I'm gonna buy Unicron, the HasLab Unicron.
Right, right, yeah.
She would look at me right now and probably say, "Go sleep in your car."
Yeah.
You know, and realistically, I would. I'd probably put the box and sleep on in the box because
Right.
But Unicron was like one of those. I remember people were fucking breaking their banks, like
They were.
Galactus,
They were.
and the Sentinels, and I mean, to me, when that shit costs rent,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You
I
cannot
you have to
justify that.
you have to really evaluate that. And I think that
Yeah.
that's something that, like, I love what you said in your video, and in a lot of your videos, that you're like, if I have this budget and this is what I'm working with,
Yep.
I'm not getting everything. I'm getting what I want, what I can afford.
Right.
And I feel like that's how you can sense the good YouTubers from the fake YouTubers. Because the fake YouTubers grab all the shit they don't like
Everything.
and stuff that they love, and they get weird shit that they don't know about it, but they're gonna get it anyway,
Right.
and spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, and then sell the shit off later.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, why the fuck did you buy it in the first place?
Well, they do what I like to call buy for views.
Oh, of course, the way
So
that we were
so
talking about, like, doing the like raffles.
exactly, buy for views. So I know if I know that I've got a lot of Marvel Legends people, I'll buy a lot of Marvel Legends. If I know that I've got a lot of Star Wars people, I'll buy a lot of Star Wars. It doesn't. You're not buying for you. You're buying for them. And
Hmm.
eventually, you know, you get to the point where you got so much crap and you're selling it, getting 50% of what you put into it. It's like it's not good. Doesn't make a lot of sense. The only way I could, going back to the Metroplex, the only way I could ever get that Metroplex is if I sold some stuff. I'd have to sell whatever it cost. If it's a thousand
Hmm.
dollars, I'd have to find $1,000 worth of stuff and be like, there you go. That's the way to justify it. There's plenty of people out there who can afford way more than I can, way more than you can. And if you're in that boat, great. Century says it the best. We're talking about Ron again. Ron, why is Ron always coming up in
Because
everybody's
Ron's just a
conversations?
great dude. Ron,
Ron's
I
the
know.
man. But
Ron,
he
I'm gonna
says it
tag you in this
great.
video.
You tag his ass.
So tagging you, Ron.
Tag him. Uh, but what he said, so he did something cool too, kind of like what you did, kind of like what I've tried to do. He did his toy walks when he's walking in the forest,
I
and
love that stuff.
it's all like supernatural and stuff. It's really really cool.
It's
But
very
he
calm.
always says, stay within your means. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. If you can't, if you need to go in debt for it, don't do it. Be responsible with it. Um, that's one thing that I've had to learn a hard lesson on. When I first started collecting again when I was 16, I went all in on Power of the Force, got myself into debt, ran into credit cards, got myself in a lot of trouble. So now it's like I've got this budget, sticking to this budget. If I want something more, well, there's Christmas, there's my birthday, and there's me selling stuff. So that's the way it is, man. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that
And
because again,
I think people need to realize that that's what good YouTubers do.
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
people know I'm not working right now, and I've used my collection to fund parts of the collection, but it's also been used to get stuff out to make space just for the family, to do things for the family.
right,
Because to
right,
me, like I told my wife, there's a few select pieces in here that are not sellable that
sure.
I need to keep. But everything else is fire sale. Like 95% of my collection can go if I ever needed to. And my wife, like, my Disney trip, I will say this with confidence. I've sold on Mercari enough to fund half of the trip of $4,000.
I love Mercari, man.
I do too.
I
I
love
love it.
Mercari.
I make enough money on there, and
Yep.
people have been like, "Oh, I don't know how you're doing it or why you're doing it," because it's for my family.
Right.
A
Right.
lot of people came at Sleeping Collectibles on Instagram. I don't know if you saw that a few months ago when he was like, I talked about I was going on my trip and he tagged me. He's like, yeah, I'm taking my daughter on a trip, and he was selling figures. And they're like, well, why are you buying so many toys? Like, stop buying toys and you'd have money. And I was like, whoa, 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 like, pause. Like, stop coming at him. That he's
Yeah.
talking about getting rid of his excess to fund his trip. He
Mhm.
has the money to cover his trip. He's wanting to fund extra things like I'm doing for my daughter, for both my daughters. This will be
Right.
their first time going, you know? So to me, I want to make it all inclusive. I want to make it fun. And getting rid of this shit that just sits here on the shelves that I take
Yeah,
pleasure in, at some point I can get it back. If it's piece I don't care about, yeah, go right ahead.
yeah,
But like,
absolutely.
I got rid of my Hot Toys. I got rid of a shit ton of Black Series, and it didn't bother me. And I
Right.
think that that's something like very Zen, very Buddhist. If you can let it go and not feel it, that you know, because if you feel weighed down by your collection, and something Josh Pence said recently on Facebook that he doesn't really feel like the need to be collecting, and he's losing that love, that fire, and he's like purging a lot of his shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, focus on you. I was like, 100%. I was like, dude, I love you. I've had you on my show before. You're one of the most realest YouTubers I know. When you don't like something, you get rid of it and you're fucking gone.
Right.
So do it. And I
Absolutely.
would say, the same to you, dude. If you're like ever feeling that day where you're just like, fuck it, I don't,
Oh,
you
I've
know.
had to do that multiple times, man. I lost my job a couple years ago when I was only into Black Series back then. I sold 90% of my Black Series figures. I kept a couple Vaders, a couple Stormtroopers, and that sort of thing. But when, like you just said, when I was doing it, it didn't matter to me. I had bills to pay. I had to take care of my family. I have two kids and a
Hmm.
wife. My wife was the only one working. But you know, thank God it all worked out. Got good money for my figures. In some cases more money than I even paid for them. So it's like, you know, th- and it didn't mean a lot to me. And if that happened again, this stuff is expendable. And
Exactly.
you know, all that's expendable. The one thing about YouTube that's not expendable is the relationships that we're building and the friendships that we're building, and that sort of thing. I won't expend that. But everything else, it's just toys.
And I say that when I hear you say that, it warms my heart because I feel it, and Carlos has said it, and everybody that's in the chat has heard me say this. And Daniel, I'm not trying to ignore you. I saw you come in here, Legacy and Nerd. I love you, brother. Um, One of the things you cannot forsake is good friends
Right.
and real friends. Not like, oh, I talk to you sometimes. I'm talking like every day in the hustle, knows what's going on in my head. And that's the relationships I've been building with selected people on YouTube. But it still feels like to me, like when I make that connection to somebody, it's because I know that they're good people,
Hmm.
you know. And I want to say that from, like kind of closing this interview out. I love that our interview was not the formal getting to know Yukon Phil like everybody else. Sorry guys, I didn't want to do that kind of video. I wanted to hit him with some good different questions and just pick his brain. And I gotta tell you, if you go back this last hour, he said some really good shit. And love what he thinks about it. And me and him think a lot of this very similarly.
We
And
do.
I feel like I found another friend for life in this in the diamonds that you could pull out of here, or the coal I could pull out of YouTube. I pulled a diamond in another friend, and I'm gonna say that very honestly, very real. You know, it's you don't they don't have many guys that are doing their shit like you, and I want you to plug yourself, man. Plug.
I
Tell me
appreciate
what.
that, man.
Tell me what you're doing. Tell everybody what they need to know, where to find you. Go right ahead.
First of all, thank you, man. I feel exactly the same way. I know you get that feeling with people where you just know how these people are, it's exactly the same way with you, my friend. So thank you so much for having me on the show. As for me, all you guys pretty much know me. You know what I'm doing. The big thing that I'm really plugging now is the live stream, the Yakking with Yukon thing. That thing is, I think, doing pretty good. I really have enjoyed everybody I've had on. Got T3 on Sunday, so looking forward to talking with Carlos on that. We had Joe on last week.
Hmm.
We've had Daniel on. We've had Journal Kenobi's Bunker. I got to get Colin on. I think I've Colin penciled in. I have to double check on that. But you guys can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I haven't done the TikTok thing. I don't even get that, so I haven't done
You do
that.
YouTube Shorts, so it's almost the
I
same
do a
thing.
ton of YouTube Shorts, so
Yes,
thank
you got me
God for
doing it.
YouTube Shorts, man.
Again, influencer.
Yeah.
He waved his hands when he was like, "Hey,
Jedi
I."
mind trick.
He's like, "Do the shorts," and I came up with two shorts, and there's gonna be
Nice.
more because I like the
Nice.
way I could do it. So that's all because of Phil.
Honestly, if you want to get so guys, don't steal my stuff. But quick tip, if you want to get views quick, if you want to get subs quick, be creative with your shorts and do a lot of shorts because people gravitate towards them for some reason. I did one today. It was Galvatron. It's a select Galvatron, and I put Galvatron talking from the movie, in it. Got like 2,000 views in like 20 minutes. So honestly, guys, if you really want to plug
I love it.
your channel and that sort of thing, shorts are a great way to do it and do it fast.
Oh, you just
But
look, you got somebody.
yeah, you would copy me.
Perfectly
Actually,
said.
shorts are a lot of fun to do.
They are.
Joe's right. They're a lot of fun, man. It's like you can be a little more creative, and you got to sit there and edit it and everything else and that sort of thing. But yeah, guys, you can find me. I'm posting more and more. I want to be careful. I'm not posting too much. I want to be careful. I'm not doing too many videos, too many shorts, and that sort of thing. But just to kind of wind this down, one thing I'm working on right now is a top 10 list of my favorite pickups of 2022 and my worst pickups of 2022. So I'm working on that now. Hope to get those out next week. Is the 2 videos a week is what I'm sticking to. And I think 2023 is going to be really good. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate all you guys. I know I went on and on for about half an hour yesterday, but guys, every one of you guys, uh, one personal thing. It's been a tough year for me personally. I've had a falling out with my family for about the last 9 months. I haven't talked to my mom, my dad, or my brother for 9 months. So this helps out a lot. It helps out tremendously to be able to share with you guys, talk with you guys. So kudos to you guys. I appreciate all of you. And Dre, thank you very much, my friend.
I will say one thing because that was very, very personal what he just said, folks, and I'm gonna share because I like to like I don't like people feeling like, oh, he said something like that, and I'm not outdoing him. When I lost my mom back in 2013, and then I lost my dad in 2014, 2014. I wasn't close to my dad, but the only family I really talked to is my siblings. My mom's side of the family, I don't talk to him. I
Right.
barely talk to him, and I have two daughters that would be benefit from having their cousins and their aunts around them. But you know
Yep.
what? My friends here have proven to be better. Joe,
Yeah.
Carlos,
Yeah.
and everybody sitting in this chat right now is proof positive that they're better friends and family to me. And Phil, I'm gonna welcome you into that family, dude. So you're not alone.
Appreciate it,
I
man.
know that we can't be your blood, but here's the old saying is you can't choose your family, but you can choose your
Choose
friends.
your friends.
You
Exactly.
know, so
Exactly.
I'm choosing you to be a part of my friend circle,
Appreciate it,
and
man.
and like I said, my friends are my family, so I defend you. I'll go to bat for you, but you do me dirt, I kick you out. I'm just that real, Joe,
You
and
gotta
everybody else
be that
knows
way,
me
man. You gotta be
because
that way. There's not enough. This life is too short for toxic people. This life is too short for
it
people
is.
that are gonna like you said, kick dirt in your face and not, bring you up. If you're gonna bring me down, 2 words.
Suck
You guys probably know what. Yeah.
it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'll say it for him.
So
Suck it, because I could care
yeah.
less about that stuff. But
Yep.
folks, I want to say thank you guys for coming in. For Ron, when you watch this video and you make it all the way to the end, dude, you are a hell of a dude. You've influenced a lot of great YouTubers up and coming, and I need you.
Obviously.
And I want you to know from a guy that is a friend of yours personally, to hear him just speak volumes of you and the person you are. I'm happy to say that you are a friend of mine as well. So, and for Phil, we got you to 500. I'm going to support you and continue to see you grow, dude. I don't care about the numbers. Who gives a fuck? But you know what?
Yep.
I see you just being in the stratosphere. So
Appreciate that, man.
that's going to happen, and we're going to get you there.
I
And
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
folks, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for the chat. And as you hear my little one ranting at me, that's her way of saying, I want to pay attention. What you doing? What you doing? So thank you guys. I love y'all. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Latest.
Thanks, guys.
And we end our broadcast.